Okay, so welcome to another expert interview, another podcast, fascinating, where today we're going to be diving into an increasingly vital topic for renewables energy, having effective training solution. That is actually what we're talking here, comprehensive training solution, holistic training solution, because we need that. And joining us today is a gentleman that you've seen many times with us already, is Afonso Faria, which is the visionary CEO of AFF Windservices. And what they've done, they've pioneered innovative training strategies to address the growing skills gap that we have in the fast evolving industry. And that is what we would see with Afonso today. So let's go for that. Hello, everybody. Welcome again. So, I am Tony T. I'm the founder and CEO of Renewables in Africa. If you see me here for the first time, what we do is raise awareness about renewables energy in Africa, but also across the globe. So, if you're a project developer, if you're an EPC company, if you are a developer, you have an investor or a supplier, you say, I want to expand, tap into Africa and beyond, I want you to reach out to me because I know there are two key questions that most likely you have. Number one, how can I reduce my business development costs? And number two, how can I fast track access to customer? What we do, we put together awareness packages that help you three ways: visibility, but also qualified leads and also sales. Yeah. And I want to talk to you, show you how we can get it done for you. But today is all about talk about comprehensive training solution, holistic one. Yeah. And throughout his career, so Afonso has not only witnessed but also shaped the transformative impact of training approaches, blending technical prowess, with essential skills. That's what we're talking about here, soft skills. Yeah. And what we explore today, it's looking at insight on creating a thriving environment that where people can learn, empowering professionals and propelling them, in the renewable energy sector forward. So we're going to uncover the key element that makes training effective and also explore how they can lead to greater success and sustainability in renewables energy. But without further ado, let me now welcome Afonso, and then we can continue this beautiful conversation. So, Afonso, how are you doing today?
Hi Tony, I'm good, thank you. How's things?
Very good. Where are we today?
Today we are in Finland, in north of Finland, about an hour north of Oulu.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. It looks like Finland's becoming home these days.
Yes, it is, and it's actually becoming so much home that maybe end of this year, next year, we'll have some exciting news to share also about Finland and AFF.
Okay, so are you telling me that I need to also, plan another conversation with you at the end of the year?
Yes, we do.
Next year.
Yes, we do.
Okay, not a problem, not a problem. So we're looking forward. So I was talking about introducing you, saying that there is a lot of insight that we're gonna see for you, and people have already seen you in the first very interesting conversation that we had, you and I. And I would say, people, you haven't seen the first conversation we had with Afonso, definitely I'll put the link down below. I want you to go back and look at that. You learn a lot more about the person that he is. But just to give a little bit of a justice, people listening to us. So maybe, Alfonso, you could share a bit about your journey into renewables energy, and more so, what inspired you to focus on training solution within AFF Wind Services.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. For the ones that don't know me, Afonso Faria. I am the owner, CEO, owner of AFF Windservices. I'm in the renewable business now since 2006. That's when I started back in Portugal as a service technician. I started it simply applying to a job ad. There was a job advertising looking for technicians with mechanical background, speaking English. Those were the requirements, and I applied, and it's been quite the journey ever since then, since 2006 until now. So it's quite some years. What I've embraced, or what I've noticed, and what I've learned is that we are always learning from each other, and we're always learning in this business. And that is also what I try to embrace within my own company, within my own organization, and my own people. And that is that we need to share, we need to mentor each other, and we need to be able to work with everyone else that is around us. So we cannot see it as one man show. It needs to be a full team with all the organizations that comes to the projects, because we work mainly with construction. So we work mainly with building new wind farms. That is our main activities, management, supervision, and we do also consultation where we overlook and oversee the quality and the progress of the project itself. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. We talked about the fact that I think you and I had conversation like that before in the past, right? We were just talking, chit chatting, and saying that in terms of training, let's be fair, in the industry there is a lot of training happening, right? But a lot of them will focus on the technical aspects. What, according to you, highlighted this need for more comprehensive training within your company and also in the industry at large? What actually prompted that, would you say?
Yeah, so I think it's been a combination of the whole path of what I personally have experienced from being a service technician, going out to other countries to support other regions, and to support and build up other wind farms. Also, because I've gone through, so I've gone through via from service technician to installation, commissioning. So I've seen several aspects of the wind, of the renewable with the wind, of course. Um, and what I've noticed is that one thing is skills, and that is things that we are taught in school, that is things that we are taught in technical trainings. The other thing is to be able to actually use that and put that to use in the real life.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that comes together with that is people, technicians, experienced technicians, experts that are already there, that have that knowledge. How can they share that knowledge with the newcomers? So there's a combination of things here that I've been identifying and I've been part of as well during the last almost 20 years. And I've come to realize that one thing is if you have knowledge, but you can only really use it if you can share it with someone else. Otherwise, your knowledge is limited. You, you might know as much as you might know the wind turbine, for example, from the bottom to the top. But if you're not able to share that with someone else, then it's not really of any use. So I've seen that. I've also realized that when we talk about skills, we go to these technical trainings. We are really good at working with tools. We are good working with electricity, hydraulics. That is skills. That is hard skills that we know how to do. But then when we are working with a team, we need to be able to see if maybe we have our own flaws and we maybe don't know the full process or we are missing something. But we also need to be able to realize and understand that those that are working with us, maybe they don't understand all of it. And maybe they just need a little bit mentoring. And that is what is needed in the industry, not only the renewable. I believe in all industries. That is what is needed nowadays, mentoring. If we go back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or maybe a little bit further back, then we used to have those mentor apprenticeship. We don't have that anymore. Now we are just thrown into the world as young adults. We go out there, you get the necessary training, and you go to work. This is not sufficient. So it's all steps, and we can go further into the health and safety aspects, the mindset aspects, the emotional safety aspect as well when we are traveling, when we are out there. But I've learned all of this. For example, first time I was deployed to another country, I was deployed to Greece, and I was told that the technical level was quite low, and that is why there was issues with those wind farms. And I've learned the opposite. I've learned that the technical skills was quite high, but there was lack of communication between the
Mm.
region and the head office. They couldn't talk with each other. They couldn't understand what the real issue was, and the real issue was just combining and talking the same language. That's it. So once that was rolling, once that was going, then guess what? The wind farm was all of a sudden producing. So that's a little bit my step.
Yeah, you seem to have a very good understanding of what the situation needs at the time, and whether it's about identifying the technical skills that people need, or maybe the soft skill that they need, or the mindset skill that they need. All of that. That's actually so. I wonder whether basically company have sort of dropped a little bit that level of mentorship I was talking about, because they couldn't properly figure out so what is that the staff needed. So I don't know if you can describe some of the unique challenges that renewable energy company faces when it comes to staff training and development, and you are in a good position because through the fantastic job that you're doing, like you say, you're looking after wind farms here, construction, so both from the supervision but also management and operational maintenance. So you would have dealt with many such companies, right? So wind companies. But
Yeah,
in general, renewables energy, what are the unique challenges that they face company when it comes
I
to
think
staff training and development?
Yeah, I think that the industry, and as I said, I've got nearly 20 years of this industry, so I started at a quite early stage. But I think if we compare it with other energy industries, as the oil and gas, perhaps, I think we still need to. We are a lot more mature, but we still have. There is still some path to take. There is still some work to be done, and maturing. And when I say maturing, is that the competition, and it's a little bit aggressive. So I don't think there is time. It's growing so fast. If we go back 10 years ago to what the turbines are producing now, it's growing so fast. I don't think there is time enough to actually mature as technicians, as managers, as
Mm,
supervisors. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It means that we are actually working towards a better future. But we need to maintain that focus. And we actually see that nowadays what we are seeing as overall companies is that safety mindset is getting a little bit, it falls a little bit in between chairs because it's growing so it's the evolution is so fast, and people is also jumping so fast from company to company. The loyalty needs to be improved, and to have loyalty with staff, it means that we need to be able to provide them a good safe work environment. We need to provide them not just safe but also stability. We need to provide them in a world where there's less and less stability. We need to be able to provide them that mental stability. They need to feel secure that they are supported morally, supported as a mentor. So I think that is what is maybe happening with the industry. That it's growing very fast. We can go all over the world. We can work all over the world. Um, and we just, we need to be able to keep up. We need to be able to step in and join, or keep that joint together.
yeah, excellent. That's beautiful thing. So talking about meeting industry, I know you are very active, like I say, going and meeting customer the where they're meant to be, but all meeting as well some of your colleagues. I think I just want to show a very quick video of you because I think you recently attended a very buzzing
Yes,
industry event that was in Hamburg. So
yes,
I'm
that's
I'm just
correct.
gonna show a couple of very short video, and then we can come back and we can have a look at that.
Hi everyone. So, quick update from the Wind Hamburg event. It was good. Met a lot of people. Met a lot of friends. Met a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time. So it's always good to catch up. It's always good to see you. So shout out to everyone. Um, Now it's time to relax. Now it's time to have something to eat. And tomorrow we'll be back at the event again. And I'll see you all again.
Yeah, okay, that was just a quick industry event you've attended to, right? So how was it? Would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, that was Hamburg, the Wind Europe. That was towards the end of September, so a good couple of weeks ago. It was buzzing. It was extremely busy, especially on the Wednesday. That was the first day that I
Okay.
couldn't be there earlier, so I was on Wednesday and Thursday. I was there, but Wednesday was extremely busy. But it was good. It was really good. I met a lot of companies. I met a lot of old colleagues as well that have moved on. Some of them have started their own companies. Some of them are also very actively in the business, promoting and getting the job done. So it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, I can definitely say that you seem to be a sort of a role model or an example people are looking up to because I've seen already more than one people reaching out to me say, "Hey, I worked with Afonso before. He's doing great. I could see when he was starting AFF. I want to just be like him." That's just impressive to see that the growth that you have. So I know you are so keen on getting your team trained the right way because you always say to me, I want the team to feel like we own the project. Like when we're looking after a project for a client, we look at it as if it was our own, right? So, how do you integrate then both the technical skills but also the soft skills in your training program at AFF?
Yeah. So when it comes to technical skills, there is a need to do constant refreshes. What I say with refreshes is not that the guys are not able to work with them, but just reminders. And sometimes also when we are working with certain tools, certain software, some guys maybe they find an easier way to do certain steps. We need to be able to share that. And you can only do that once you get together as a team. You take an hour per week, sometimes a little bit more, and you target that. So what we do is every week on Saturdays usually we get together 1 hour a week. We define what we're going to talk about before the day, and then we
Okay.
talk about it. We go through the tool, we explore it. This is the technical training. The other aspect is making sure that people is that we are working as a team and that we develop also those soft skills. So not only technical items are we taking, but we're also taking about aspects as communication, how to write an email, how to behave on site, how to deal with personal dramas, how to deal with perhaps sometimes we have, and it has happened before, where we have alterations from people that are stressed and then they can't really express that, so they start shouting or they become aggressive. How do we deal with that? How do we maintain that team together? And there is not a correct way or a bad way to deal with that, but there is one way that can help everyone, and that is to share the experience. If I share how I deal with that personally, someone else will have a different opinion because everyone has their own personality. But if we are able to share how we deal with that, then we are building, we are mentoring ourselves, and that is the key word: mentoring. We need those mentors back again, and it doesn't need to be physically always sitting next to us, but remotely also. We are living in 2024. We have all the
Yeah.
technology available. So why not go for that? Why not do that? So what we do is weekly. I've actually incorporated just recently also a daily 15-minute, 10, 15-minute in the morning. We just say good morning, how is everyone? We talk about whatever comes up in our mind, and then we go about our day. That
Mm.
that promotes more of that family-like feeling. That promotes more of that integration between ourselves, interaction between ourselves. So that is how we deal with that.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that because I guess most of your team is working remote, isn't it? Right. So you
Yes.
need to find a way to have because sometimes you don't do that. Because I do the same with my team. Like every day in the morning, I want to make sure that we talk, and usually as well. So when we have meetings, so we always start by talking about our successes, our recent successes. Whoever has any success you want to report. So
Yeah.
it could be personal or it could be related to work, but it's just to get people in the mood to absolutely understand, also catching up. Because if you're not in the same office space,
Yes.
obviously, you also always
Yes.
don't get the sense that you belong to a team here, to a family. I think
Yeah. There's
I very much.
something there's something that sales teams often do, and it doesn't need to go to that extreme. It's not extreme, but it doesn't need to go to
Yeah,
that level. But there's something that sales teams do quite often, and some people from the outside they might look at it in a that it's not needed or something. But what they do often, good sales team, what they do is they get together in the morning before they go out there and make the sales. They get together in the morning and
yeah,
they pep talk each other.
yeah,
And sometimes it's not about pep talking, it's just about saying, hey, how are you? I've had a rough night, but I'm still going to get it done.
yeah,
Or it's minus 25 degrees outside, but I'm still going to have my coffee and I'm going to do my job.
yeah,
And that promotes that good feeling that we need, that good energy that we need to start the day and to keep it during the day. So
yeah.
that is.
What I give you a secret. Within the team, so we're doing role plays in the morning, right? So 15, 20 minutes. And I think ideally you want to do that with another colleague. And if not, you do by yourself. You just role play, basically having a conversation with any potential prospect that you will see. Yeah. And that's how you want to train yourself. So that obviously whenever you meet somebody and people come with all sort of objections, guess what? You've heard it already, right? And
Yeah,
because you practice that over and over again, it becomes a no-brainer. I can see there's a lot of similarity here. I absolutely agree with
exactly,
you. That
exactly,
that
exactly.
that's a way to do that. So I think I could see you very much have implemented some regular structured training within the team, right? So you talk about those 15 minutes, for example, that you mentioned, where you want people to get together, so on a regular basis. So I was wondering, so what kind of impact have you seen, from having that in the team performances and also the morale? So having that structure training. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's both. I've seen improvement in both. And when I say improvement, it doesn't mean that from day to night or from night to day, someone is all of a sudden, you see that the performance, it goes gradually, right? And
Yeah.
you can measure that. At least I measure that when I see that someone that used to be a little bit more nervous, or they used to be a little bit more jumping into every single topic, that I look back now and I see that he's actually sitting back and realizing, okay, there is an issue going on, but we can solve it. Let's think about it. Let's put it down on paper, for example. So it's in those areas or those aspects, that's how I can monitor it, and that's how I realize that we are doing something that is good, right? If you don't see, if you look back, from a year's time, what happened a year before, and you can see that the attitude and the way of approaching the work, approaching the issues, because we always have problems.
Yeah.
If you can see that they're improving, and sometimes even on the personal life, when they make a comment saying that, my wife made a comment saying that I'm a lot more calm now about personal issues, then you start to realize, oh God, hold on, we are doing something. We do have an impact on the way that we are dealing with professional issues and personal issues, because we should not, of course, personal life is one thing and our business life is something else,
Yeah.
but it's all tied together, right?
Yeah. It's the same person.
The way we are in
Uh,
our personal life is the way we are in our business life.
correct.
That's it. And we need to be able to take that role on, and we need to be able to understand that role, improve that role in both areas of our lives. If we make that difference between, in private life, I am a joyful person, always walking around laughing, and in business life, I am I'm always upset and all of that. That's not going to work. Eventually, it's not going to work. You're going to drive yourself crazy. So it is connected to each other.
It's definitely connected to each other. So we talked about the Hamburg event, so that was very busy. I just want to show another very quick video that gives a little bit of a panoramic view of what happened. Just it's gonna go very quick, just few seconds, just see people. So we said it was very busy, so we can see it
Yeah.
here. So yeah, that was really something. So
Yeah, and this was just one of the halls. There was a lot of it was quite big. Yeah.
okay, that's actually so. What venue was it into in Hamburg? I think I've been in Hamburg, yeah, but so where in
In
Hamburg was
Messe,
it? In Messe. Okay,
in Messe. Yeah.
okay. Is that like this is a regular annual event, isn't it? Right, that they do.
Yeah, this is a regular annual event. Yes, this is
Yeah,
the biggest one in Europe. It celebrated 10 years actually this
10
year.
years. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Time flies. So I think almost as old as AFF, right? Because how long you've been around for, you guys?
The company's been since 2016. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, it's slightly less than that, but okay. Still making okay. Still making some step. Excellent. So let's move forward. Like I said, no, what I want to talk about is I don't know if you can maybe give us an example of a particular successful training initiative that you've had within the company, and talk to us through how you made it effective. That would actually be helpful because like I say, I like the way you're describing how you're taking your team to that journey to understanding that the technical is very important, but also the soft part is also very important. And then I could see because especially in a wind industry where let's say you can have some sort of strong character, people that can also be solitary. So I can see how much resistance you would have had at the beginning, but very interested to understand how you would have dealt with that. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe you can talk about a successful training initiative and what made it effective. So that would be a good idea for people to understand,
Yeah.
an example, a particular example.
Yeah, one example that comes up to my mind now is just something that just recently happened actually, and
Okay.
we because we work with clients, we work for another client, so we use the software from the client. But anyway, one of our clients, they have a software that where we need to log in and we need to register and we need to consume tools, parts, items that are used in the turbines. This is an
Hmm.
online system that can be quite complicated, complex.
Okay.
We had last year. We've had actually beginning of this year. We've had some sessions, training, going through that, helping each other, one of the guys that explored it was teaching us how to do that. Anyway, we were helping each other with that. Just recently, another manager that just joined us in the summer last year,
Mm-hmm.
he's taking the material that we've used as examples and as a guide for our own material. He's taken that and he successfully registered everything correctly and closed off his project. Just
Brilliant.
like that. And he called me and he said, listen, I'm looking into this and I think I've got it
Very
almost
easy.
done. And I personally, I was like, listen, I still need to deal with that. I still need to understand how that works 100%. So again, so that is a very clear, very quick example on how that works,
Yeah.
how it works to be. You can, as a company, as an owner of a company, you can hire people,
Mm-hmm.
you can hire professionals, and you can, they're planned, you send them to a project, there you go, you're going to Finland, Sweden, and that's it. And all we don't really we don't have that that work with them. But if you don't support, if you don't follow up, if you don't catch up, then you're going to lose all of this. And in the end, your company is just service provider without any really meat on the bone, right? We
Mm-hmm.
don't really have that input. So that is something that we are that I focus on a lot to make sure that we know these things, we share with each other. So that's yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a recent one. Another one from last year, but that's something that I can't say too much because it's a tool that I'm developing.
Okay.
Um, but the way that we've started to organize ourselves in progress, in monitoring progress, we've actually started to see we are all work the same way. And we started to see, okay, maybe there is a need to improve. And instead of having everything in Excel and Word and all of that, maybe we can go into a digital tool where we can put all of this and reports will come out. And that's something that I'm actually working on. As of next month, I'll be working on that and developing that tool as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you want to develop that internally and then commercializing it possibly?
Possibly, yes. We're going to use it first internally to monitor all our projects. The
Sure.
intention is that we'll see where it takes, and maybe we can then commercialize it later on as a reporting tool that can be of value to other companies. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to have that talk, right? So they can tell us more about that. It looks like there's more and more news that we could learn in here. But what I like what you said, it shows the journey to entrepreneurship, right? So whereby you start by yourself, and
Yeah.
then you add people around you. But as soon as you start adding people around you, you start thinking, okay, they most likely anyway they will come to you. They come across issues, and you have to sit down with them. But the problem is you can either one, two people. When you start having five, six people, you can't just spend yourself sitting down with them. So that means now you need to develop processes, basically
Yes.
figure out how you were able to do things, track that, create a process, give that process to them so they can go and implement it without you being involved. And
Yes.
the measure of success that you just said is when you're able to hand over somebody a procedure that you've developed, you say, hey, mister, hey, madam, just go and do that. The person just go get it done and call you and say I've done it. You say wow, and I think again I relate to that because when it happened, because I'm sure it happened to you. Sometimes when you're drafting those procedures, you always have some doubt. Oh, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the
Yes.
person finally actually get it done and
Yeah.
it works. Oh, there's always a level of pride in there. So that's why I say I
It is.
clearly identify what you said there, and that is powerful. That's the way to do it. You mentioned Afonso that you are obviously dealing with large wind projects here. We're talking about 30, 50, 100 megawatt. Those are significant. I just wanted to give a snapshot to people as to how those projects looking like, and maybe if you can talk over it so that we could see maybe one of your projects here.
Yeah. So here, what is actually the project that I'm visiting now? It's in the north of Finland. Here
Great.
we have the role of consultants. We are actually representing the end client, the end customer, the owner is what we are representing, and we're also supervising and ensuring that all the quality is met and that the program is met as well. So that is our role. It's a little bit different than the management what we do on other projects. Here we have more of a monitoring role, but that is also where the expertise is needed. We need to be able to look into things without interfering, but understanding if there is delays, if there is no delays. We need to, and that only comes with years experience. If you don't have that experience, you'll be looking at processes, but you will not be able to follow 100%. And what you see here is actually the start of the building of a wind turbine. It's got a couple of towers up already, and it's got still a couple of lifts to go. It's 164-meter high turbine, so that's quite a big one.
Yeah, that's impressive because it's very green around, right? And it looks to be in the middle of
Yes,
nowhere.
it is in the middle of nowhere. It is very green, but if we take the same video next month, then it's going to be very white because it's going to be covered in snow.
Okay, okay, yeah, fair point. Winter, right? So
Yeah, winter is coming. Yeah,
yeah, quick question for those of us who may not be always that familiar. So, how long would it take to erect one turbine like that? And overall, so how long would it take to build a full wind farm?
yeah. So one turbine like this, and this is what I'm going to say is with perfect conditions when everything goes well. So the first two tower sections they are built within half a day. Then there is a process that needs to happen, so we cannot start straight away. It's actually we need to change cranes also. Main crane needs to change, and then once we start building the remaining tower sections and the remaining components, then it takes approximately between 48 hours plus minus uh, between 48 hours and 54 hours, more or less. So when we are doing night shift, so that is also more the practice nowadays that we do day and night shift, just to make sure that we are quicker and that we don't go into the winter. It's more or less 2 days. So day, night, two times. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Two times.
And
Okay.
that is one turbine. Of course, that doesn't mean that the turbine is 100% ready to go into production. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done afterwards, but the building itself takes more or less between 48 hours and 56 hours, 54, 56 hours.
So, okay, and basically what you're saying here is depending on the number of turbine like that we need to erect, so you will get an idea. So, how long it takes to build a 50 megawatt, a 100 megawatt, something like that. Yeah.
On an average, these turbines, on an average, with the crane relocating to the next
Ah, yeah, yeah,
location,
yeah, yeah.
it
Logistic.
takes
Yeah.
on an average more or less one turbine, 1.5 turbines a week. So if you
Okay.
have so if you have 30 turbines, it's going to be more or less between 14 and 15 weeks of
Okay.
installation.
So
Yeah.
that means your team will stay all this time on site managing that, right?
Yeah, we do rotations. We work on and off.
Yeah, that's yeah,
That's something that is actually very important. Is that, and we didn't do that some years ago, but it's quite important that we keep focus also on our private life. So we
yeah,
do on and off rotations. So we have more or less a balance between working and being at
uh,
home. You guys have to remember when we are away from home, when we are working, of course, we work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, but we are away from home for a full period. And it can be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Personally, I've been away from home now almost 6 weeks. It's not
my
easy. It's
God.
really not easy, guys. So we
Oh,
need to
it's
make
definitely
sure
not
that
easy.
that yeah.
So
Imagine, yeah. So you have your family, your wife, your children, your friends. So imagine you are 2 weeks you don't see them. That's it.
that's yeah, that's why people go mental. I think
Yes.
for me, it's almost like you need to have, basically, basically psychological support all the time when you're building this thing.
Yeah.
Because for me, that is because if I imagine that you staying away for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you are
Yeah.
in Finland, in the middle of nowhere, it's very cold.
It's not easy,
It's
but
not
but there
easy.
is, but on the other hand, there is things that we learn that
Yeah,
we are forced to learn. So
yeah.
all of us that travel, we know
Mm-hmm.
that if it doesn't fit in a suitcase, so clothes and all of that, fashion, rings,
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't fit in a suitcase, you don't need it.
Okay.
So we because you cannot take it. So at home we have a wardrobe full of clothes.
Yeah.
Half of
Okay.
that we don't use, right?
Yeah. True.
So if it doesn't fit in that suitcase, you don't need it, guys. Honestly, we don't need half of the stuff that we have.
That's great, but it definitely shows you also how you value it. It gives you a different perspective of life. I could definitely see after if you've done it, and like I
Yeah.
say, you're living. It's almost like you have a mini world around you, right?
Yes.
Cosmopolitan
Yes.
workplace, also.
Yeah.
So
And, so, and,
yeah,
and some
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
actually, one of the projects that I'm doing, some guys, because of that family life, the
Yeah.
children, some guys, they actually they print out pictures of their children and they put on the wall in the office,
To
so that it
remember.
feels, yeah, so that it feels more like, you feel, who you're
Okay.
working for,
Yeah.
and it feels more like you're at home.
To be honest,
That's small mind tricks. That's mind
it
tricks
is.
that you need to do to maintain sane.
No, no. I think I must admit it's not easy at all. It's definitely not easy at all when you're looking at that. So, yeah. So that's what I say. Yeah, that's
I remember,
impressive.
so, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah,
it
go on.
just came up to me.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
One of the persons that I've met in Hamburg was actually a very good friend of mine. He has a big company in Scotland as
Mm,
well. I remember me, him, and another guy in
mm,
northern of Sweden in 2010, 2011, in the winter, in the middle of the winter. We just finished 12 hours working, went back to the hotel, and the heater was broken. The whole weekend, we had no hot water, no heating in the house, and it was minus 20 degrees outside. We sat together on the sofa, eating and warming, and yeah, and
that's
that's
my
it. And you can't go home. You can't go home. You just have to deal with that. That's it.
life, man. What don't we do for customer? So, Afonso, so looking to the future, so how do you see the role of training evolving in the renewable energy sector globally? What would you say?
Yeah, so globally, I see that there is a need to improve. There is a need to do more. I see it. I don't. I have a vision, but I don't know how to put that into action yet. I am working towards that.
Hmm.
I see it more into integrating, maybe already into the training centers, of having dedicated trainings, more mentor-like, uh, experience sharing trainings, but either that or perhaps or both go into seminar likes, or developing that each company, each team develops their own mentor, the guy with more experience, or even changing the role. One week it's one guy, the next month is someone else. But this is what I see needed. I see that there is an improvement that needs to take place, improvement towards those soft skills, that being able to be out there, being able to share experience, share knowledge in a mentor way, and it will improve also the safety aspect of the wind farm. Because if our minds, like I just said, like we were just talking about being away and all these issues, if our mind is not there, we're going to have incidents and accidents. That is it's mathematical. If we are not thinking about what we are doing because our mind is occupied thinking about something else at home, or because a colleague said something and I took it the wrong way and I'm just thinking about that, you need to be able to think to maintain focus on what you're doing at the moment. Remember, we are working with hydraulic tools, electrical tools, accidents happen. So there is a need for that. I don't know yet how to develop that. I don't know yet how to exactly do that with training centers or with seminars or with webinars. Something needs to happen. Within my own company, I am working on that and I'm trying to come up with a different way, give continuity to what we do already, but perhaps go into a more in-depth way of talking with each other, sharing. Maybe I need to set that up. I need to work on that, but there is a need for that. There is a need for that.
Excellent. I think I'm very much looking forward to that, and that would be great. That reminds me that before we close off, that I recently talked to a lady. I think I definitely will introduce you to her. She's in Kenya, and then she was talking a lot about this training aspect as well. She actually want to set up a training center for people in Africa, because she said that obviously at the moment a lot of training facilities are in South Africa and maybe some in North Africa, but the continent is very big. And obviously she want to set up something that East Africa can tap into, and she was talking about having it, let's say, a lot more integral in the sense that she want to see, yes, technical trainings, but also make sure that you have some soft skills, that proper training there. And I just think that this is exactly the kind of people that you want to be engaging with, because with the experience that you're talking about here and what you're developing, I can see some resonances here. But that's actually the nice segue for me to the last part of the call, which is just one final question, because you've been here before. So what we like to do usually is to give the last word to a guest. So you've been talking about the importance of improving, you know, and on the way that we deliver trainings, both technical, soft skills, mindset training. I just want to give you 1 minute and have you basically addressing those renewable energy companies, and I want you to address them and tell them why they need to do it now more than ever. So if that's the case, so I'm just gonna give you 1 minute, and I know you're developing something there, so hopefully that will be a good sales pitch for them. So I'm just gonna go to the background and I'll let you do that. Are you good for that?
I'm good for that. Let's go for it.
Okay, let's go.
So if you're wondering why talk about this, why approach this, what's the need? Everyone is we have highly professional technicians, managers, we have experts in the air in the industry. So why go further into all of these needs, all of these soft skills? Uh, I believe that with the growth that is projected in the industry within the next year, in the next coming years, there is a need to have fixed guidelines and ways of working safer, more organized, structured. They can only happen if we target that. If we can only improve if we recognize our own flaws. So once we start to see the criticism that we have on our own, how can I improve? How can I, for example, how can I be a better CEO, better manager, better company owner? How can I develop my business better? I can only do it in one way, by sharing the experience from other companies, talking with other ones, and then together building that, working on that. And that's the same in the industry. How can we be more safe? How can we lower the rate of incidents and accidents? That is by bringing the people to the work, but also making sure that we bring them home again. We need to be able to bring them home mentally safe and physically safe. So when I say mentally, and that goes into the soft skills, is that sometimes we are out there so focused on making that work, making that money, that we we don't hurt ourselves directly, but in the long run, we're going to have back injuries, hand injuries, mental injuries. Maybe we start to alienate ourselves from the family because we are so focused on being out there and we cannot talk with anyone. So that is the reason why we need to go for it now. Why start to focus on it now, and why start to work on it now? Because the business is going to, the industry is going to expand a lot more. It's becoming bigger. It's becoming wider range all over the world. It's not focused on small areas anymore. So we need to target it now before it's too late for us to then be able to bring everything together again. So that is the reason why we need to focus on that now.
Excellent. I think the message is very clear, people listening. So, if that speaks to you, if you want to find out a little bit more about what Afonso is developing, how he has managed to achieve that with his company, I know he's the man you want to talk to. So, how would people get hold of you if they wanted to know further?
The best is via LinkedIn, although
Okay.
I'm not answering every day. I'm not going into LinkedIn every day. Let's
Yeah.
be clear about that. I just don't have the time for it.
No,
Sorry,
you don't.
guys. Uh, Sometimes in the end of the afternoon, sometimes in the beginning of the day. But the
Mm.
best way is to find me on LinkedIn. There you can also find the company, AFF Windservices. Drop a message, drop a direct message. That is the best way. Reach out, say who you are, what your idea is, send your contacts. I will always get back to you, but not on that same day, of course, but I will always get back to you.
Yeah, I think I can definitely confess to that. Yes, absolutely. Afonso will always get back to you. Just give him some time, and you'll be able to talk to you and obviously have some exchanges. So thank you very much for your time. I know you're in Finland. You're looking after a project, so that was a beautiful conversation. So we got to know a little bit about how you looking at this topic of training, how do you implementing that within your company, and your recommendation that you gave just to people listening to us. That was just beautiful. So thank you very much for your time, and looking forward to see you again another time. Thank you, Afonso.
Thank you, Tony. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you for that. So I think we've had a great conversation with Afonso just right here. So thank you for an enlightening talk and for shedding light on the essential role of comprehensive training, holistic training in advancing renewable energy in industry, right? So to all our listeners, I hope that today's conversation will inspire you to consider how continuous learning and development can really propel you and your team as well and your project towards greater innovation and efficiency. I love what Afonso said here. We need to bring you home. We need to make you feel safe, physically safe, but also mentally safe. That's just beautiful, right? That's what we need to do. So stay tuned for a lot more insightful discussions right here that we have. So it's a goodbye for now, but guess what? So we're going to keep pushing the boundaries with what's possible in renewables energy and keep bringing you people that will inspire you for your journey going forward. So take care and have a great day. Bye bye.